Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin, and today I have my October update for my year-long project pan. So what I am doing is I have selected 10 items out of my makeup collection, and my goal is to use them up completely. Now I am tracking uses and weights and doing all my graphics and all my pictures, so if you guys like the visual aspect of panning, then you maybe have reached the right place. But I do have one rollout, so that means one new roll in, and I have some exciting updates on my products. I have some pans, I have some repressing. So let's go ahead and get into my October update for my year-long rolling 10 pan project pan. All right, so I have no idea which order I want to go through these items. So I think I'm just going to show you my empty and then we will kind of roll into the rest of it. Oh, my husband is texting me. Perfect timing as always. But my empty is my Too Faced Pillow Balm. So this is in Ice Crystal. And actually what I was doing as I drop it, I am a hot mess express today, but that's okay. And puppy dogs are coming to see me. Well, welcome to my channel. Rambles, dropping things, puppy dogs. We will get through this. But what I actually did, I know, I talked about you guys. I know. I was panning Midnight Crystal at the same time. I had it by my nightstand. So Ice Crystal and Midnight Crystal came in a duo last holiday. So I was using both of these at the same time. I got really low down on Midnight Crystal and I actually mixed the rest of that in with the Ice Crystal and it created this beautiful like light purple iridescent like shade, and I was like, they need to come out with that as like a unicorn shade because we know how Too Faced loves doing the unicorn stuff. If they mixed Ice Crystal and Midnight Crystal together, it is a beautiful light purple, like blue pink iridescent. It is so pretty. But that means that I'm done with this one, and you guys will see in my buys and buys that I also finished my Midnight Crystal. So I was able to get through 2 of these throughout the summer, really just putting it by my bedside and using this as my lip balm. Like anytime my lips felt dry, I was putting this on. So I did go through this one, and I had a huge jump. And so we were there last time, and I used up the rest of that. And again, I added some product to this with the Midnight Crystal. So like I did a hard push to finish this up. And also I just like the formula. And so I liked having it by my bedside for my lip moisture purposes. But last month with our Ice Crystal Balm, we were at 35.69. Empty, we are at 32.9. So I used 2.79 grams, so almost 3 grams of product. So again, that is a lot of product, but that's because I was reapplying it multiple times a night whenever I was sitting in bed, like playing on my computer. Now I also did take the stopper out. I scraped as much out of this as I could. So this is as empty as the component can get. So 32.9 is kind of what to expect with an empty component. So we will end up rolling in a new lip product down the line. Otherwise, we are going to go back up to my normal products. And the product that's been in since the beginning of the year is my Tarte highlighting palette. I say this every time. My Tarte highlighting palette is actually my repressed highlighters that I use this palette for the component. I talked to you guys last time about finally repressing Becca Moonstone into this component, and I did that. So our palette will look very different because shade 2 was my focus shade, but shade 2 was getting really low, and I wanted to use some of that cool toned, almost taupey highlighter in shade 2 to mix in with Moonstone so that I could get a highlighter that works for me. I kind of feel like Moonstone is still a tad bit too icy or too warm for what I like. And so, but I don't want to repress other things. But I filled up this pan with the remnants of Moonstone and then the remnants of shade 2. But this is what we're looking like. I still have those big, beautiful pans on the other shades, and I will work to get a pan on this shade as well. Maybe by the end of the year, we will have a pan because that is very shallow. The Becca Moonstone that I mixed in here was only a mini, so there wasn't a whole lot of product in there. So with my weights are going to go up because I did add product into this. And of course, I tried to pop up my graphic that shows how many times I've used the highlighter palette in September and how many times I used it overall for the year per shade, so you guys can get some sort of idea about uses. But with my highlighting palette, last month we were at 114.92. Now we're at 116.3. So I went up 1.38 grams in weight. Now, typically I was using, and this is across my data for the year, but I was using about 0.3 grams of highlighter per month, so we can assume that I used about that amount in September, and then I added the product from the Becca Moonstone. So we have our new starting weights, and we will be able to have data for all of October with if I'm getting back onto that train of that 0.3 grams for this one. But that means that every single one of my highlighters, except for the cream highlighter from Ilia, every single powder highlighter that I own in my inventory is now pressed into this palette. So I can continue to use this one. I still love it. So I am very happy with my powder highlighter collection right now. Then we are rolling into another item that has been in all year long, and that is my ColourPop Lippy Pencil in Brink. We are continuing to work our way down on this one. That little black line there, that is where the product will be empty. So we still have quite a ways to go. I was able to make a new mark in my book because you guys will see the graphics pop up. And yeah, so I'm just making steady progress with this. I think I told you guys in a previous video that in September I didn't wear makeup that often because I had a lot of time off in September. Usually September is my birthday month, not usual. That sounded really weird. So September is my birthday month, so I usually take more time off work during that time. So I think I only did my makeup 17 or 18 times, according to my numbers. There was one day where I was running late for work, so I like slapped on a little bit of something. So I think that is the 18 that is in here. But as far as full faces of makeup, I only did my makeup 17 times in September, which is very different from my usual 20 to 23 times that I am typically doing my makeup. So not as much progress on my items, but of course I am still continuing to use them. So like I said, it's already like, it's doing its thing. Like it's already kind of come off the component, all of that. But we will continue to work our way through Brink. I do feel like this, I don't know, will this be an empty for the end of the year because we only have October, November, December left? If this is not an empty for the end of the year, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, because that would mean that I've had this not eyeliner, but this lip liner rolled in and using it every day. Like a year and a half. That is what that would look like. But let's roll into, actually, let me get a drink and then we will roll into our next item. So as I was getting a drink and trying to fix my calic back here, that look at that. That is just straight up calic. I don't know what to do with my life. I got the crazy idea that I want bangs. And I texted some good friends of mine. I was like, I think I want bangs. And they said, are you okay? Did something happen? And I was like, is bangs like midlife crisis? Like, is that like, or if there's something like horrible going on in your life, like the idea to fix that is just bangs. But I was like, no, I'm curious about a haircut. But I also hate when hair is in my face. So part of me is like, I would be setting myself up for failure. So I actually have ordered fake bangs on Amazon. So I will see how I like the fake bangs and I will see how I feel about them. And I don't know, I might end up going and getting a haircut and getting like the French bangs or like the French fringe or something. I don't know if I have the hair for it. If I have any hairdressers out there, like how would that work with my, and again, like it's not necessarily a cowlick, but I have trained my hair up front to do the side part, but I'm just curious. Like I want something new. And my hair grows fast. So if I don't like it, it can grow itself out. But I'm just curious. So if I pop on a video with like fake bangs on, like it is probably, unless I tell you guys that I got a haircut, it is my bangs from Amazon that I'm playing with. So I will have to see what I think about those. Next product. So we have my Say Super Glowy Gel, Glowy Super Gel. I'm going to say this wrong every single time. Glowy Super Gel. So, I have this in Star Glow. I do love this as I almost drop it. Good Lord. As I almost drop it. So, with this, I do mix this into my foundation every single day. It has the bag in there. So, the bag is pinching. And so, I am getting good use on this one. I do want to repurchase that, but I think I have enough in here to get me through to the end of the year, I believe. So I will reorder this when Sephora has their 20% off for everybody, which is typically like the first week of December, which I didn't necessarily miss out on Brow Day, but there wasn't anything good. Like my normal Benefit brow gel was not on sale. So I was like, I don't really want to buy any other brow gel if the Benefit one is the one that I like love and like that's my holy grail. So I'm gonna have to figure out if there's another sale on Benefit down the line, maybe on Black Friday if I have to order from their website, and I'll get my brow gel then. But I was very upset, not very upset. I was very disappointed with the selection of products that they pulled for Brow Day. So that is where we're at with that. But the 20% off for everybody, I will pick up another one of my Glowy Super Gels. But for our uses, we were at 134.39 last month. Now we're at 131.62. I did use it 17 times, and that is 2.71 grams of product down. I am so curious by the end of the year, because when did I start using this? So this rolled in to this project at the very beginning of the year. So this will probably have a year of use on it by the time that it's empty. And I am so curious how many uses finally, like totally, I will get out of this product when it is an empty. And that's what I love about the data behind this project, is just how many uses it actually takes me. Because for me, I want to pick another one of these up right away. But with how much is left in the bag in there, I feel like I still have a few months worth of use. So I don't need to run out and repurchase one right now because I still have months of use on this. So that helps me not spend my money now and then clutter up my drawers with like back stock and with backups and stuff like that. But let's look at a product that is going pretty quickly, and that is my Kosas Cloud Set. Air Cloud. Where did Air Cloud come from? Kosas Cloud Set powder, and this is in candy. My lid is hanging on by a thread. Is that a Creed song? I don't know. But look at where we're at. That big, beautiful pan in there. I'm working my way around the product on this side here. I think that this will hang on for at least another month or two. Probably 2.5 months. So this will be an empty by the end of the year. This is not something that I need to repurchase right now, but this is a very nice product. So I do really like this powder, and it's actually lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, being this baked product. So we are making really good progress. Hopefully my graphics are popping up somewhere so you guys can see the side-by-sides on my products. But for our weights, we were at 71.6 last month. Now we're at 70.61. So like I could probably like dab my finger into it and get that extra 0.01 gram. So 18 uses on this powder for 0.99 grams. I'm going to round up for my own sanity. I used a gram of product on my powder. Now that is a little bit more than last month, but kind of on par with other months. I've kind of gone through between like 0.75 and 1 gram, like in that zone. And I think it just depends on what I'm setting or maybe how many times I'm dipping back in with my puff. But I only set kind of my under eyes. I set down the sides of my nose and underneath my nose, and I actually set between my brows. I set with this powder here. So that is how I am using it for a gram of product in 18 uses. Let's look at my eyeshadow stick, which again, I chuckle every single time. I'm like, okay, yeah, I used it X amount of times, which actually, let me grab my little book because I started marking down how many times I was using this. I started marking it down in my little deck of panning book. So let me actually see how many times. I used it 5 times in September. So for our shadow stick, I could not make a new mark. I have sharpened it since I took my pictures, but that is still how much we have left in here. It is just a nice antique bronze. I like using this to kind of darken the outer corner of my eyes. So this is a wonderful shadow stick from ColourPop. Everything is like rubbed off of it, but this one is in So Celestial. So with this one, I used it 5 times in September. We were at, let's see, 11.44 last month. Now we're at 11.39, so 0.05. Since I did just sharpen it, we're going to have more weight loss on this in October, but really like I like having that more point to it because I do use this more like an eye, like a eyeliner rather than an eyeshadow. So that is our color right there for So Celestial. I have no, I don't believe I'm going to finish this, but I just wanted to have something fun in that I could work on. But let's look at something that does have some really good use and some good visual on it, and that is my foundation. So this is the Urban Decay Face Bond. I do have it in shade number 2. And I do mix this with other things, so this obviously is not, is it even, no, because I bronzed up, so no, it's not my shade, because I bronzed up this area because it was going to be on display, but my pale arm there, no. But shade 1 was almost too light, so it would have made me look even more dry and just, but this is working out fine for now. It's not going to be a repurchase for me though. But with this one, let's see here. Last month we were at 36.58. Now we're at 34.34. I did use it 17 times for 2.24 grams of use on my face bond. And I do like that it settles, and it settles relatively quickly. So even if I shake this up to use it in the morning, by the time the evening rolls around, it has settled again. So I do get really good like visual on this. But of course, the actual product is a little bit lower than where it is settling on the outside. That's why I haven't been marking it. I've just been taking my weights and taking my pictures so that I can kind of compare the pictures as the product goes down. Let's look at what our next thing is. So that's going to be my blush. So this is the Hourglass Mood Exposure Blush. This is what we're looking like. Again, no delusions of finishing this or hitting pan or anything like that. Like, I don't expect that with this product, but I am trying to get decently consistent use on this one. I do have a lot of blushes rolled into my Project 10 uses, so it has taken a little bit of the focus away from this one, especially because I only did my makeup 17, 18 times in September. I do have a lot more working days in October, so we will hopefully see a little bit more like makeup uses. Which, bless it, one of you guys was like, why don't you wear makeup on the weekends? And I was like, it takes me an hour to do this or more. Like, if I have a choice of sitting down and doing this for an hour or hanging out with my husband or sleeping or doing another project or writing, I'm going to do that instead of this. Plus, sometimes my face just needs a break. Plus, if I'm going to be working outside or working in the garage or like doing a project, I don't need this. to do that. So I only wear makeup on days that I go to work and days that I film. That is my life. That is what I've decided. Let's see. Oh, so gotta love the scam text messages. So this message is from a foreign number, so it's not even a number within the United States, and it's telling me that the DMV has a final notice on my record. Heaven forbid. They're going to pursue charges. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, I have to do all this stuff. I have to pay now through a link. Come on. I swear to God, these scammers. But the thing is, it's terrible because people fall for this. But there are people in this world that they just want to be scammers, and they want to scare people with these text messages and scare people to pay them. And it makes no sense because it's coming from a foreign, like international number. But they're saying, oh, you have to pay your DMV stuff. Pitiful, pitiful people in this world. If you're a scammer, shame on you. Back to my blush. As Washburn comes to check on me. So for my blush, I used this 5 times in September. So out of my 17 uses of makeup, 5 of those times I did use Mood Exposure. I am getting more and more flat, and actually I'm starting to see a little bit of dip in the dome. So I was able to flatten the dome, and now I'm seeing a little bit of a dip in this baked product. But with our weights, we were looking at 46.39. We're now at 46.24 for 0.15 grams of use on my blush. And that's kind of appropriate for only 5 uses. So that is looking good. Here is an exciting one. So we have my NARS Laguna bronzer. And I told you guys last time, I said if I don't have a pan in this product by the end of September, I'm going to be upset with myself. And I am not surprised at all. Now, of course, the pan was smaller because I'm filming this on the 4th. So this pan was a little bit smaller at the end of September, but there was a pan there. And look at this. I started using this bronzer. I think I finished the other one. When did I finish my other bronzer? So I finished my Juvia's Place bronzer. How do I not have it? Shame on me. My spreadsheets are not up to date. That's another thing. I would rather be doing other things apart from my spreadsheets. But that's okay. So I finished my Juvia's Place bronzer on June 10th. So I started using this bronzer basically June 11th. And I already have a pan on it. And I did my get ready with me, so you guys see how I am doing my makeup. I don't think that I'm packing it on, you know. And again, like I bronze myself up, but I'm not scrubbing into here, nothing like that. So within, let's see, 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, so within 3 months, I had a pan on this bronzer that retails for $40, $42. As much as I do love NARS products, I would not purchase this again. Now, this did come from TJ Maxx, so I did not pay full price for this, but still, if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get such longevity, I'm going to get such, great use, and again, like some of you might never hit pan on a bronzer in your collection. This is just me because I use one bronzer at a time. But we have this humongous pan after 3 months of use. I don't know. I do not know. But I will continue to use this and we will see how far I get with this bronzer until the end of the year. But with our weights, this was at 72.85 last month. It's at 71.72 now. I used it 17 times for 1.31 grams of product. So again, I'm going through a gram of bronzer per month. And with 8 grams of product, this is supposed to last 8 months. So we shall see how that goes. let's look at my last product before we look at my roll-in. And so that would be my One Size Turn Up the Base Concealer. Now I told you guys that this was getting super low and a lot of it was sticking like up at the top of the component so that it was hard for me to get to it. So I did take out the stopper. I did remove everything that I could from this component. And actually, whenever I had these two sitting next to each other, it's the same component, just different lids. So it is the exact same. Which, I mean, I get it because, like, I mean, the products are similar as far as, like, consistency with the doe foot. But let me try to see. But with the concealer, so they put 0.24 fluid ounces into basically the same component. So they put 0.24 fluid ounces in the concealer, and they put 0.2 fluid ounces in the lip product. So you get a little bit less lip product in the same component. And it could come down to stopper and doe foot and all that stuff. But I just found it interesting when these two were sitting next to each other, that they are basically the same thing. So when these brands get their packaging, it's coming from the same place apparently. But when I took everything out of the component, I put it into one of my empty NARS containers. And so this is all I have left of this concealer. It was more than I thought it was going to be just because so much of it was sticking around the stopper. So I've just been using a concealer brush to dip in here and use this product. So I don't have my weights on this yet just because I can't. If I weigh this, it doesn't really give us an accurate anything because I used this product in this component throughout September. So we are just looking at what this is. When it's done, we will be done with it. I am tracking uses, and then probably next month, whenever I'm done with the concealer, I can tell you guys how much this empty component weighs. So we will go from there. But let me go ahead and tell you guys my roll-in. So for my roll-in, I wanted to bring in another lip product. And I do have the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in iced coffee in my Sephora cart right now, just kind of waiting. And I was like, okay, I need to work on and get another lip butter balm out of my collection before I bring iced coffee in during the VIB sale or whenever I decide to buy it. So I am going to roll in my hot cocoa. So hot cocoa apparently is a limited edition shade, and I actually just was watching a video from Andrea Menteliano, and she was talking about how there is a set with hot cocoa and toasted marshmallow, and like, I just want toasted marshmallow. Like, just give me that one. And I even went on Sephora and I even looked, like, is it a limited edition where you can just buy it by itself? No, you have to buy it in the set. And you end up with another one of these and one of the, like, jet set masks. And I was like, I don't want all that. So I do want to get use on hot cocoa. Let me see. I bought hot cocoa in October of last year. So this I've had for a year. There is an air bubble in there, so I can't like squeeze it down yet, but this is just a brownie gloss, and it really does. It smells, so that is our color, and it really does. It smells like Swiss Miss. Is that right? Swiss Miss? But it smells like hot chocolate. It really does. Like if you make a creamy hot chocolate with actual milk or with cream, not with water, that's exactly what this smells like. So it is delicious. It'll be good for the season. And I want to see how long it takes me to get through one of these. I am starting with a weight of 20.8 grams. So we will see how much. I think I'm going to put this by my bedside because that is where I am reapplying lip products the most. And so I will just see what I think about using this. I have had a little bit of, which I can put more lip product on. I am wearing my Dangerous gloss, which is in my Project 10 Uses. But I have a little bit of dry skin on my lip right now, so I'm trying to see what I can try to use to remedy that a little bit. I've been putting straight up Aquaphor on my lips. So, but I do miss a little bit of a taste of something. But that is where we're at. As far as predictions for October, of course, this will be an official empty through October because I'll use up the rest of this here. I'm very curious if I can hit another pan in my highlighter in shade number 2 before the end of the month. And then I am curious how much more will expand the pan in my NARS Laguna. And then I'm also curious, like I'm pretty sure I have another 2.5 months left on this powder. The dome up on this side is pretty high, so I feel like I'm not going to get through this in a month. I'm just not. And that's okay, because I want my products to last. I want to get my money's worth out of them. I'm not trying to use them faster than I need to. But that's where I'm at with my Project Pan. I feel really good about these products. I feel good about where I'm at. I feel good about my blush because I can see that I'm starting to do a little bit of a concave situation in there, and I am really enjoying that. But I'm going to pop up just in case you guys missed or didn't. I know the Get Ready With Me's are not everybody's cup of tea, but if you guys missed my Get Ready With Me, I did have the immense pleasure of meeting Andy in person last weekend. Her and her husband came down this way for vacation, and they kind of swung into my area to spend an afternoon with us, and we went to the beach and ate some delicious food. So I'll pop the little picture of me and Andy up there. And so I did have the great pleasure of meeting her and her husband, and they are both lovely. And I love, like, even after the fact, she's like, you are exactly how you are on camera. And I texted back to her and I said, girl, I don't have time or the energy to make up a fake persona to come onto a camera and talk to you guys about makeup and numbers. Like, I don't have the energy to create a fake person. So I am who I am. So she got to hang out with me in person and experience this live and in Technicolor. So it was so much fun spending time with her, and the visit was too short, but I did tell her, unfortunately, I was like, you probably will never get me up to Ohio. So come down to the beach, come enjoy the Florida weather, come enjoy our white sands and our warm water. I was like, come enjoy us. We live in a vacation and destination area, so you can come see us, but you will probably never get me into Ohio. Ever. So bless her for coming down and seeing me and for stopping in. It is absolutely fabulous to be able to meet her in person. So this opportunity on YouTube has opened up some friendships that has been pretty amazing. So I do appreciate even you guys when you comment. I recognize your names, I recognize your icons, I recognize your stories. So I appreciate you guys. But I did talk about some pretty cool stuff in that Get Ready With Me. So if you guys have not tuned over into that one, I will try to remember to pop it into the cards or something. I'll try to be a good YouTuber and pop that in there for you guys. But that's all I have. Otherwise, I have sleepy puppies. I'm going to try to get something for lunch, and I'm going to enjoy this beautiful green eye look that I did with the Trick or Treat palette from Oden's Eye, which is rolled into my No Pan Left Behind right now. So that's where this eye look came from. So I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my weekend, and I'll upload this for you guys tomorrow. But I do appreciate all of you guys for being here. I'm going to encourage you to do all of the YouTube things. Hit a thumbs up on this video if you're enjoying my content. If you are new or lurking, consider hitting that subscribe button. This is who I am. I do project panning, conscious consumerism, beauty budgets. I talk about psychobabble stuff and Get Ready With Me's. Like I said, my last one, I had my chat, which again, acronyms. I probably said it wrong the entire time, but I had my chat GPT come up with some prompts and some questions for me, and I answered those, which was a ton of fun. Kind of lessons learned from the last decade of my life. So that was very interesting and very fun. I want to do more of those in the future, but this is who I am. So if you like this, hit that button, stick around. we'll talk about some panning and using what you got. Otherwise, drop me a comment down below. Let me know how you guys are doing. If you have any like prompts or questions for another Get Ready With Me, drop them down below too. And because if the last one was not your cup of tea, drop your suggestion down below and maybe I will do one that is more your speed or more of a topic that you want to hear about. So we will go from there. I'm going to go edit. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. I'm going to wish all of you guys a beautiful day. I'm going to catch you in my next one.